Your credit score plays a huge part when it comes to buying a house or trying to get a loan. For those who have poor credit history, it can be worrying as you often don't know where to start or what to focus on. And not doing anything only makes the problem worse when it really matters. Hi everyone, my name is Shuaib and I work as a corporate analyst. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how credit scores work and the proven steps you can start using today to improve yours. So without any further ado, let's get started. So what actually affects your credit score? Your credit score is mainly affected by your payment history, the amount of debt you have, the age of your accounts, and how often you apply for new credit. Where there are late payments, high credit utilization, and not being on the electoral register can drastically lower your score. So let's look at this in more detail. First thing is payment history. Now, this affects around 35% of your score. Therefore, it is crucial that you consistently pay your bills on time, whether these are credit cards, loans, or utility bills. Late payments will severely impact your score. The second thing is credit utilization. This accounts to around 30%. It looks at the percentage of available credit you are using. High usage means there is financial strain. Therefore, the sweet spot is to keep it below the 25% threshold. Third point is credit age. Now, this roughly affects 15%. Here, a longer history of managing and using credit will generally increase your score. Fourth factor is credit mix. Now, this roughly accounts to around 10%. So this is where you have a variety of credit card types. For example, mortgage, credit cards and loans. They demonstrate that you can handle a variety of debts. And lastly, new credit inquiries affects around 10% of your score. So every time you make a full application, there is something called a hard search, which is recorded on your file. Soft search, on the other hand, is not recorded. Now, this is where you might make an initial application. Too many hard searches, especially in a short amount of time, they can make you appear desperate for credit and will affect your score in a negative manner. Now, of course, the three main credit reference agencies in the UK might have a slight variation on how they weigh each part. Nevertheless, these are the areas they most focus on. Also, I've not touched on the topic of those who have bankruptcy status or CCJs against them. These are extreme cases and getting any loan or credit will be extremely difficult. Now, let's take a look at steps you can take to improve your score and fix some of the issues. The first and most obvious point is to pay your bills on time. Most people will have direct debits in place. However, there are some who still pay manually. Choose the direct debit option. Even if you remember, have an automated payment in place where you at least pay the minimum amount, as missed payments will have long-term effects on your credit score. In the event a bank or an organization has made an error where they've put a late payment or someone has fraudulently opened an account in your name, you should immediately contact the relevant organization and raise it with them. If it was their error or fraud, then your credit record will be corrected. The late payment will be removed. If, on the other hand, the error was on your part where you missed a payment or paid late, then this would be recorded. In exceptional circumstances, you could try to negotiate a goodwill gesture and have it removed from your account. Though some banks may be helpful, they are not obliged in any way. The second point is to lower your credit utilization. As mentioned before, try to keep this below 25%. However, what is also important is not to max out one card. For example, say if you have 3 credit cards, all with a limit of £3,000. Now your overall credit availability is £9,000. Instead of using one card and overloading the limit, you should use 2 as it splits the debt and keeps it below the 50% threshold. What you also can do is request to increase your credit card limits, as this further ensures the utilization rate remains low. However, be sure not to use this as an excuse to increase spending without any real reason. Another factor is credit history. I remember while at uni, I opened a bank account. To this day, I still have that account. Along with other financial products, I have had this account for a very long time. Basically, long-standing accounts show stability as it gives lenders a longer picture of your financial history, especially if you pay on time. What is important to avoid, on the other hand, though, is not to make numerous applications in a short amount of time. So when it comes to loans or credit cards, try to space them out. Otherwise, it gives the impression you are desperate for money, and this can affect your score in a negative manner. Now let's look at things you can do right away which will have a positive impact on your credit score. Start by opening up one of the many free credit score checkers. You have companies like ClearScore, Credit Karma, or Martin Lewis's Credit Club. Here you can see all the financial products that are in your name. You get to see where the problems are so you can correct them. For example, you might find errors, incorrect penalty charges, or accounts that are in your name which are not meant to be. By just removing one mistake, your score can improve drastically. Secondly, if you haven't already done so, it is vital that you register on the electoral roll. Now, this is the fastest way to confirm your identity and address, as lenders look for this when you make applications. I've put a link in the description below on how to register for this. Thirdly, if you have low or non-existent credit score, then you can apply for one of those credit builder cards. These typically have lower limits but are perfect for those wanting to increase their scores and build a financial footprint. However, it is really important to stress that these cards do have higher interest rates. Therefore, it is vital that you pay off the full amount each month. And lastly, you can use services like Credit Ladder or Canopy, which allow you to report on-time rent payments to credit reference agencies. Again, this is perfect for building up your score. I'll put the links in the description below for these as well. Remember, improving your credit score isn't complicated, but it does require discipline and for you to take action. Start by changing a few of your financial habits, and before you know it, you would have already built things into your system where it becomes a second nature. And on that note, if you found the video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe and comment below on how you improved your credit score, and I'll see you in the next one.